Hey everybody, my name is Sharon Quinn and I'm also known as the original runway diva, and you are watching Model Behavior. Class is officially in session. Today my guest lecturer is New York-based jazz vocalist Rajdulari Barnes. Her buoyant voice vibrates with a clear and honest joyfulness. Her debut release, Honey Wine, remains among Amazon.com's top 100 most downloaded MP3s. Her latest release, Journey of a Woman, including the hugely popular and my favorite anthem. Welcome, Rajdulari, to Model Behavior.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. You look so beautiful in your red.
Thank you.
So let's just get right to it, Raj. You are a singer, songwriter. What has it been like? What has your journey been like in this business?
You know, it's been a lot, but I started singing professionally at 17, but I've been singing since I was 3 years old. So I was born and raised in the church, and my mother was the choir director. My grandfather was the preacher. So, you know, every Sunday we was in there getting it in, doing our gospel, and I really loved it. It was a great foundation. And then I started my first professional gig when I was 17 in Boston, and the bug just bit me, and I've been doing it ever since.
And this is all you do? Now, do you
also
supplement your income?
I supplement my income. My best friend Jonay calls it your small business loan. I do have a day job. And I also have a new coaching business, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Now, let's stay on the music piece for a minute, because I'm a singer too, and I know how hard it is to be in this business as a singer and as a plus-size woman.
Yeah.
So what has that been like for you? Has that kept doors from opening for you, or?
I think so. I definitely feel like there's opportunities that I've missed when, for instance, but sometimes it'll be subtle. It's not overt. So, for instance, you'll go up for a show and you'll pitch yourself or pitch your music and things like that, and they'll say, oh, that's okay, you know, we've decided to go with someone else, and then you see that the someone else is like a smaller, you know, more svelte woman,
probably not
as talented maybe
as you
sometimes. Exactly. So I've definitely had some of those experiences, or just being passed over on auditions, or being told that if you lose 40 pounds, 40, 50 pounds, you would definitely be more marketable, things like that. I've heard it
that's
all.
ridiculous, because it's the music industry, it should be about the size of your talent, not the size of your body. 40 pounds lighter, you're still going to have the same voice.
Exactly.
So I don't understand. Well, I do understand, because that's the reason why I'm not in the business right now.
Right.
Now, let's talk about Journey of a Woman. That is the good album. Let me just tell you.
Thank you.
How did you come up with that concept? Did you write every track on that?
Well, we did two covers. We did Juicy, which was the M2May cover, and then we did a cover of Tina Turner's What's Love Got to Do With It, and we did this whole jazz arrangement. But for the rest of the album, it was co-written with myself and my producer, Aaron Brooks Roberts. And it was so funny because we wrote all of the songs over a period of 2 years. I had finished Honey Wine. I was trying to figure out what direction I wanted to go in, because I didn't want to do just traditional jazz. And we just started writing all this music, and some of it was R&B, some of it was a little dance music, you know, we just went with it. And before we knew it, we realized that each of the songs told a story, and each of the songs was a representation of how I felt, being a curvy woman, being in New York, being an artist, being in love, trying to be in love, the struggles that I went through, and it just became this whole masterpiece kind of album. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
Now, this is the question that everybody wants to know. Now, Journey of a Woman came out last year, right? In 2015?
2015, yep.
Are you working on a new album?
I am working on a new album. I know I've been taking a little break from music, but I never stop writing.
She's taking a break because she's about to get married.
Well, you know, priorities and everything. But yeah, there's a lot going on at the moment. But you know, and with the music industry, sometimes you need to take a break. But we'll talk about, because we kind of talked about that in the during the intro. But so we are working on probably June, July. We're gonna start writing again. So the wedding happens in May, so I'm giving myself to make it through that. And then June, July, I definitely want to start back.
Now, have you thought about like a concept yet, or you just know you're doing it? You haven't come up with that concept yet.
I'm thinking about the concept. I have been focusing a lot on wellness and peace and inner peace and self-awareness and love for yourself. And so I am sure that the album is going to have a lot of that into it, because it's just where I'm at right now.
And that would be Fit Curve Life. That's a good segue. Yeah. That was real good, Raj. Very nicely done.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about. Now I've been peeping out your the videos you've been putting up on Instagram.
Yeah,
with you
Instagram
working out
everywhere,
every morning, and it's inspiring to me, but I still ain't getting my ass up off the couch to do it.
That's all right.
But
that's all right.
but I see the change, and I mean, let's talk about that.
Well, okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. So at the end of or the middle of last year, I kind of crashed and burned, and especially being an independent artist. You can be a musician and you can have all the love in the world for your craft, but the business side of music is really, really challenging. And sometimes artists have to protect their own spirit in the industry.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's with anything you do.
Yeah, because you are the product. It's not like where with other businesses, if you're selling a product, you may want to make money, but you may not be as emotionally attached. But when you're an artist and it's your music, like everything that you do is wrapped up in your spirit. So I hit a wall. I was just like, it was great. I had been working really hard and things like that, but I needed a break.
And you toured for Journey of a Woman a little bit, right?
Yeah, I toured. Went to Europe. I went to Paris. I did all this stuff. But what people didn't know actually was that I've had complications for the past few years. I had lap band surgery years ago, and it really, really messed me up. So actually last summer I took a break off too because I had surgery in August to have it removed. And it's funny because I didn't really share this to
You
anybody
kept that
else.
to yourself.
I did.
Wow.
I did. It was really, really painful. The minute that I got the band in, it never worked out for me. I had a lot of problems with it. And after I made a decision last year, and I said, I think it's time for me to just take the band out and do what I need to do for my health, no matter what. Not get another surgery, not do another quick fix, but take care of myself. So I was feeling that from the music industry, feeling like I needed to take care of my body. And I said, let me just shut down for a little bit and take some time and focus on what do I really need? What do I want? Yes, I can be a performer. Yes, I can be a musician. Yes, I can be this encouraging, motivational person. But what do I really need? Mm-hmm. And so I did. I took some time off. And then in November of last year, after I healed from the surgery, I decided I'm going to just have some me time. I'm just going to take care of myself. I'm just going to get up every day, spend 30 minutes, work out, do what I can. And that's how we started to do the videos. And, it's kind of taken off from there. And Fit Curve Life has happened as a result.
Are you getting a lot of positive feedback from your videos?
Yeah. For the most part, it's been amazing. Like, it's funny because the only reason why I put the videos out was because I wanted some accountability. And I know for me, the best way for me to do something is to speak it. When I speak it, then it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And when I speak it publicly, then I have to keep my word. Because my brand, your brand and your business, your word is your bond. So if I put something on the internet, then I need to live up to it, right? So that's what I started to do. And people have come up to me and said, wow, I'm inspired by your videos, things like that. So it's kind of taken off.
And the changes in your body, mm-hmm. that keeps you motivated to continue. What's the goal for you, though?
My goal is to be as healthy as I possibly can be. My goal is to find out how strong I can be, how hard I can work, how healthy I can be, how easily I can breathe, how comfortable I can be walking upstairs, how good I can feel in my clothes, and how much of a better quality of life I can have for the rest of my life. Because I think a lot of people, when you go into it, I want to lose this amount of weight, I want to lose 50 pounds, I want to lose 100 pounds, but it's not about the scale at all. If you really make it about self-love and about spending time with yourself and loving yourself, you'll get healthy, you'll lose the weight, you'll do all that stuff, but focus on you first. So.
Now, have you changed the way you eat too?
I changed, completely. I don't have sugar anymore.
Yeah, that's what I cut out too.
Yeah, I cut out a lot of dairy. Once a week I'll have a little bit of cheese because trust me, ain't nobody perfect. Yeah. But once a week I'll have a little bit of cheese. But for the most part, I have coffee with almond milk. I have protein shakes. I have fresh fruit. I have antibiotic-free meat. I'm not a vegetarian. I like meat. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But
who are you talking to?
Yeah. But it all works out, and it's been great. I've lost almost 30 pounds now, and I'm just taking my time. So thank you.
Now, let's talk. I'm gonna go back to the music piece.
Sure.
Journey of a Woman peaked at #1 on the soul stations in UK. Mm-hmm. How did that feel?
Oh, it was amazing.
And how did you get that news? Did you get a phone call or did you just see it?
I got a phone call from my manager at the time, and he was like, "Are you sitting down?" And he did the whole thing. And I was super excited because I was actually on my way to go to London at the time. And when you're an independent artist, you put a lot of stuff up front. So you pay for the albums, you pay for the trips.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
It is a serious investment no matter what. And so when you do all of that, and you want to see a good return, and you want to see that people are really enjoying it. So to get that sort of award from the UK just really was an affirmation for me at the time, and it just made me so excited. And then we ended up going and doing the trip and being in London and just having a ball. So it was great.
Yeah. Now, Natural. I wish I could play it right now, because as soon as I start hearing it, you think that I recorded that.
Right, everybody's like, hey.
I'm walking around the house singing this thing. Now, was the feedback on that and the video? Let's just talk about that. The video was awesome. I'm so mad at myself.
I know.
That I could make that shoot, immortalize myself on that track on video.
I know.
Now, what did you, those lyrics, they resonated with me.
Yeah.
But it was like you were telling a story.
Yeah. It was my story. I mean, it is. I've never been a skinny girl. You know what I mean?
Back to when I was about 14.
Yeah.
What?
And it's funny because when we were in the panel the other night and you guys were talking about all these beautiful representations of plus size women, when I was younger, there was none of that on TV. You know what I mean? The only person I remember was Jack A. Harry. Jack A. Harry was on, maybe Oprah, things like that. But I never saw like a young, curvy girl, in any of the sitcoms when I was growing up, especially a short, thick, curvy girl. You know what I mean? So there was not a lot of representation. And so the song is about that. It's about my whole process of like trying to love myself, cutting my hair, growing my locks, like being this natural girl and having to strip yourself down of nothing. All of your nails and weaves and all this kind of stuff, all that's beautiful. And if it's natural to you, that's fine. But sometimes you got to bare yourself and look in the mirror and love
what you say.
Love what you see
immediately.
Period.
Because if you don't love it, you can't change it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, and it ain't about nobody else. That's the thing. So that's how Natural kind of got started.
Now, because I'm not a song. Well, I have written a song, so I guess that makes me a songwriter. But just did you start out knowing that you were going to write a natural, or
no? So what happened was I was asked to perform at one of the very first. I don't know if you know Visions, but they're a huge hair distributor, natural hair distributor in the South, right? And so, but they were having this huge conference in Birmingham, and one of my friends worked at the company, and she pitched my music to them, and so they asked me to come down and perform, and they said, but we would like you to write some sort of an anthem, and I was like, I'm not a jingle girl. That like, here's my music. I don't really do commission work at the time. But I started to think about it, and I'm like, wait a minute, let me talk about my story. Here I am. I'm this curvy woman. I've had this natural hair journey. I've had this journey of being a woman. I have this body image that I'm always working on and reevaluating and thinking about. So how can I put that in a song? And so that's how Natural came about.
Yeah, that song is brilliant.
It makes me happy every time I listen to it. It makes me happy too. Okay. Thank you.
Now I noticed that on Journey to a Woman, you flipped it, because when I first met you, you were a jazz singer.
Yeah. And jazz is still my first love.
Ass jazz singer. And I don't like jazz. Let me just say that. It had to grow on me. Mama can sing. You can sing jazz. So is this like a temporary thing to delve into R&B, or are you leaning more towards that?
I think as an artist, and I'm sure you do this too, when you create something, it's where you are at the time, right? So when I first came out with Honey Wine, for instance, and jazz is always going to be my first love, but when I first came out with Honey Wine, which is the first album, I was like, okay, here's a pretty picture of me as a jazz artist. This is my presentation to you. And then I had gone through some struggle. I tried to do a fundraiser. I remember I was trying to raise all this money for the album, and it didn't work out. And so I had this crash and burn right before I actually did Journey of a Woman. And I was going through all these emotions, and that's how we ended up creating it. And it was a little bit of R&B, it was a little bit of funk and soul, it was a little bit of jazz, and it was where I was at the time. Going forward for the next album, I have no idea. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be a little bit of everything. But jazz for me is still the one thing that I really want to do. Like I actually want to do a jazz exploration album that is just straight ahead. So that'll be later on in the future.
Now, are there other genres that you are interested in dabbling in?
I do love house music, even though I know a lot of women. I'm not gonna do it if I can't do it right,
baby,
though.
Come on now, don't give it. Don't be tempting me with a good time.
You know, I almost sent you a picture that we did from when we had the Curvy Cabaret, and we were singing house music, and you were getting it on the dance floor.
That's all it takes. You go into that house groove. I got my little flip flops on.
Okay,
I'm going.
And you know, as long as you got a little fan or something to keep you cool, you're good. So yeah, so I think I like house music. I do.
You should flip that.
Yeah.
And throw in some jazz riffs. Baby, come on, don't get me don't let me.
You see what I'm saying? I want to do it right though.
Now.
I want to do it right. So we'll see.
Now because you fund all independent artists have to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the demands of being an independent artist. What's the overhead like? What does it entail?
Each of my albums. Baseline start at 10 grand, okay, per album, out of pocket, and that includes the musicians, the studio, and that is like a conservative. Everybody and their mama is giving you a discount kind of baseline. And so it's the musicians, it's the studio, it's whatever kind of marketing you can do, and that doesn't include like what you pay for official videos, stylists, makeup, all of that stuff. And then when you got to do a live show to promote the album, I mean, you're just spending money. I mean, you can spend,
and it's money that you may not get back.
No, it's money that you may not get back. It is not money that is that anyone is helping you with. It's not like you have capital or anything like that when you sign with a label. So yeah, it's all you. All the time.
And the thing with, I had another musician on here, the thing with signing with a label and all that stuff.
Excuse me.
You ain't paying that out of pocket, but you are going to pay for it at some point. They're gonna get it on the back end, or you're not getting any more money.
And what's interesting is the label had actually approached me right when I was ready to release Journey of a Woman. They approached me in October, November, and I had said already publicly that Journey of a Woman was coming out January 1st, 2015, right? So they reached out to me and I said, okay, so tell me what you could possibly offer me for the album. And they said, well, after marketing and all this stuff, we'll see. And I said, okay, well, my first album cost me baseline $10,000. So is it going to be after $10,000? What is it going to be? And they really couldn't tell me. And then they said, we will probably shelve the album because we have other releases coming out and we wouldn't release it until March. And I said, I had already set my program. So if they, and so I didn't sign with that label.
And the danger of being on the shelf is that you stay on the shelf.
Exactly. And how many artists, Maxwell, D'Angelo, all those people, they're beautiful albums, shelves for years because of a record label. I'm not, It's better to be independent.
And
it's
that
more
seems to be,
but it's better.
I mean, because even with my friends who write books, they say it's always better to control your own stuff.
Yeah, if you can get distribution, I would love a distribution deal.
And how hard is that well, clearly it is hard.
It is challenging because people want to see the amount of weight you can move, basically. They want to know what numbers you're able to sell. And if you have a certain amount of numbers to sell, then they'll give you the distribution deal.
That makes it really hard.
It does for an independent artist.
That makes you pretty much forces you to sell CDs out the trunk of your car.
It's a grind.
I do not understand the music industry. I don't get it.
You know, the beautiful thing about being a musician is when you are on stage and you are creating art and the audience is with you and you're having this beautiful exchange and experience. It's communication. It's all love. The business piece of it is a whole nother ball game. But if you can keep that beautiful experience, then it's worth it.
But let's keep it real. You better learn the business piece.
Yeah, you do. You can't
you
slip
better
on
learn that.
the business. Yeah.
And instead of being kumbaya, because that's how you get took.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time. Read stuff before you sign it. I don't know how many times I got to say that to y'all.
Yeah.
Read it.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand what you're reading, take it to someone who can explain it to you in a language that you understand.
And
It
don't
was-
accept the first thing that's offered to you.
Come on, tell them why. Tell them why. Tell them
Because,
why.
you know, so many times people have come to me, even I've had people lose recordings. I've had people say, I've had 5 different managers. I've had 5 different people say, I'm going to work with you. You know, I think you're fabulous, whatever. And then we get into the business of the relationship. And I'm always like, can you grind for me as hard as I'm grinding for myself? And if you can't, then I can't sign with you. I can't stay with you because I know what I'm able to do on my own. If you can't augment that, then what are we talking about?
I've had managers. I've had a couple of managers
Yeah.
in my career, and my problem with every single manager that I've had is I don't feel like they believe in me like I believe in myself. So
And it's the action that proves that.
yeah, and I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
you telling me different things of reasons why this is not working.
Yeah.
But I don't see you being as hungry as I am
Yeah.
to get this happening for me. And this is why I don't, it's probably
Yeah.
why I don't sing anymore. No,
Yeah.
that's not why I don't sing. Never mind why I don't sing.
I mean, but
That's
the
another
internet
show.
is a beautiful medium because I can still communicate with people. I can still put my stuff out there. I can still promote myself. And until I'm at the point where I need a manager at that level, I don't have to settle. So I can do everything that I need to do. I can release my albums. I can put them on so many different platforms these days. I don't need a label to shop me to different radio stations and stuff. I can put my stuff out myself.
And breaking radio, that's a
That's
whole
a whole
different
nother
ball
thing.
game, right?
That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. But if you have tenacity, that is why you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in who you are because it doesn't matter whether a radio station supports you, a label supports you, a manager supports you. If you know that you're talented and you know what you have to offer to the world, it will happen. Whatever it is.
Oh, I firmly believe
Yeah.
that. But you got to stay the course.
You have to never
When you want
give
to
up.
quit at your core, that's when you got to stay the course.
Yeah, and it's hard, you know, and I feel the same for, like, I was watching your show the other night, and I see all these beautiful models. I've never been a plus model, you know, girl, but and you guys were talking about how hard the industry is and how modeling is challenging, and it is. All of it is challenging, but if you believe it and you never, ever, ever give up. How many stories do you know of people in their 40s, their 30s, whatever, something happened, but they never gave up. They
I
never
didn't-
stopped trying.
Oh, I was almost 40 when I signed with Wilhelmina.
Yeah, and when you did Monique's, when you did
Oh,
Fat
I was
Chance,
44
you see what I mean?
when I did. And to get, I'm glad you brought that up, child. To get a perfect 10, somebody tell me I'm a
Yeah.
perfect 10
Yeah.
at
At
44
40-something,
with
yeah.
no hair on my head.
How beautiful is
Man,
that, though?
That changed my whole
Yeah.
thinking of how I saw myself.
But imagine if 10 years before that you had given up. You know, imagine if at 30-something you said, you know what, this thing ain't for me. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. You would have missed all of that beauty. You would have missed all of those beautiful experiences, the ups and downs and all that, and the success.
I absolutely agree with you. And that was one of the best experiences of my life. I felt like everything fell in place. I was supposed to be there.
Yeah. And all of us watching it too, it was like amazing to see. We're seeing ourselves on TV. We're seeing ourselves, you know, being represented, being said that we're beautiful, being told that, you know, in front
I
of
got that
national
perfect
stages.
10. I was like, no one will ever again
Okay.
be able to tell me I'm not fine.
Okay, exactly.
Never, ever.
Exactly. But you even knew it before you got to 10, because that's how you got there. And that's what you have to do. So,
Yeah. So what's next for you, Raj? Well, we know what's next. I know, you're getting married. Now, your fiance, he's your manager now, right?
well, no, he is my boo, my love, my best friend, but he is actually starting his own company. So he was doing some management with me, but now he is starting his own photography company. And I'm really, really excited about it because he's taken a lot of awesome images and things like that. So
Okay,
if you get a chance, check him out, RL Express on Instagram. It's awesome.
And then do you have a website as well?
Yes, Rajdulari.com.
Okay. And now, excuse me.
You got a
I'm having a little moment, and everybody can see it now because the sweat is on the top of my head. All right, I'm sorry.
But you were talking about what's next, right?
Yes.
So what I have decided in my so when I took my downtime, the biggest lesson that I learned is that while I'm grinding and I never give up and I do all this stuff and I keep my motivation, I'm forgetting about myself and my body. So I was doing all this hard work, but I wasn't paying attention to my body and what my body needed. And so I thought about it and I said, okay, I want to be fit. I love my curves and I want to do this for the rest of my life. And that's how Fit Curve Life came about. And what I've been doing, because I never wanted to say, oh, I'm a fitness guru, or okay, let me tell you what you need to do for yourself and for your body. I never wanted to be that person, but I see a lot of times where women of color and our curvier women, because we're so talented and we work so hard, we don't often spend as much time as we need to taking care of ourselves. And if you don't take care of yourself, you can't do nothing for nobody else. Okay, so that's how I got started, and I decided.
Now, is this a business though?
It is.
Oh,
it is.
Well, let's please elaborate.
So what I am trying to do, what I am doing is that I work with curvy women, and we started it out based on exercise. So we do PIO, which is like this exercise which is inspired by Pilates and yoga, and every day I run a challenge group online, and these women, they log in with me every day. They do their workouts. And we do an 8-week series. So you start out with me from day one and you follow the workouts all the way through. And it has been the most incredible experience of my life. And I made it specifically for women of color. I know that I can work with a lot of women, but I want my sisters to be able to be healthy and to be happy. And so that's how we began. And so I started Black Girls Do PIO. And I wanted to, and I wanted to focus on just spend 30 minutes a day loving on you through exercise and nutrition. And it has, I've been doing it since December, and we started with 20 girls, we got up to 40 girls, and we just, every time we do the challenge again, it increases exponentially. And I love it. I love it.
I do. Okay. See, I thought that I was just looking at your little video.
No, this
I
is a
did
whole
not
new
know
movement.
that this was a movement.
Yeah. I have three other coaches who work with me, Hansa Ben, Raquel Seals, and Renee Traylor. And every day we give you motivation, we give you nutritional tips, we work out, we sweat, we put our mess on Instagram and on social media to support you and to show you that I'm not just going to tell you what to do. I'm doing it with you. Every day I'm struggling. I'm fighting. I'm sweating. I'm doing all that with you. Okay. And it's been beautiful.
All right. Well, we almost out of time. Oh. I wish we had started on that earlier.
I know.
But I want to thank my guest, Rajdulari Barnes. Thank you for that cue, for sharing her industry knowledge with us today. Yeah. Now, before I go, I want to leave you with a few thoughts, as always. 1, I want you to remember that you can't change the game until you first learn the game. 2, always surround yourself with positive people and positive things. 3, do what you love and love what you do. And lastly, be who you are, but be who you are tastefully. Always have some class about yourself. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. Thanks for watching Model Behavior, and I'll see you guys next week. I'm going to let Rajdulari and Natural take us out. Class is dismissed. Bye, y'all.
Been a skinny girl, I got curves you could see clear across the world. But I'm a real strong sister with a big old dream. You should never judge a book by its cover, you see. Stand tall, embracing my identity. 'Cause ain't a damn thing false when it comes to me. Took a long time, now I'm feeling fancy free. Listen, let me tell you how I